Virgo. September 2026 becomes a month of personal renewal, financial decisions, and a serious reassessment of what you truly want to build your future upon. And first of all, happy birthday to all my September Virgos. The first half of the month places a powerful emphasis on your own sign, encouraging you to focus on yourself, your personal goals, your lifestyle, and new beginnings. As September progresses, however, your attention gradually shifts toward finances, income, and the resources that create genuine independence. On September 11, the new moon in Virgo falls in your first house, opening an entirely new personal cycle. You may feel inspired to change your appearance, adopt healthier habits, redefine your direction, launch your own project, or make an important decision that directly affects your life. September may become the point where an old identity no longer fits the person you're becoming. Then, on September 26th, the full moon in Aries lights up your 8th house, bringing developments involving shared finances, loans, taxes, investments, financial obligations, and emotional intimacy. A financial process may reach completion. Questions surrounding shared budgets, debts, insurance, or financial support from another person may finally become clear. In relationships, you'll gain a deeper understanding of whether trust, emotional closeness, and the distribution of responsibilities truly feel balanced for both people. These two lunations work together. The stronger and more independent you become, the more important it becomes to reevaluate old financial agreements, emotional commitments, and relationships where the balance of giving and receiving has gradually become uneven. One of the central stories of September is Venus, which entered its upcoming retrograde shadow on August 31st, a period lasting until December 15th. Until September 10th, Venus travels through Libra and your second house, emphasizing money, income, purchases, personal values, and self-worth. A new income opportunity may appear. You may decide to adjust your pricing, negotiate better compensation, or begin managing your finances in a more intentional way. On September 10th, Venus enters Scorpio and your third house. After that, conversations, negotiations, education, contracts writing, short-distance travel, and communication become much more important. Because Venus will eventually retrograde through Scorpio, new relationships, agreements, educational opportunities, or decisions made now may require review or revision during October and November. Until September 23rd, the Sun remains in Virgo and your first house. This is a period of increased confidence, stronger personal initiative, and a greater desire to influence the direction of your own life. After September 23rd, the Sun moves into Libra and your second house, shifting your focus toward income, financial security, and the tangible results of everything you've been building. The deeper purpose of September is helping you move from preparation into genuine independence. The new moon begins a brand new personal chapter. The full moon encourages you to review financial commitments and emotional obligations so they truly reflect the person you're becoming. Meanwhile, Uranus continues reshaping your career, while Pluto and the North Node continue transforming your everyday work and long-term professional systems. September gradually reveals which decisions truly strengthen your independence and which obligations and relationships have outgrown their current form. Now let's look at the month one step at a time. September 1st, Mars in Cancer and your 11th house forms a square to retrograde Saturn in Aries and your 8th house. The beginning of September may require you to balance long-term goals with financial realities. A collaborative project, teamwork, audience growth, or community initiative could require greater investment, a revised budget, or more clearly defined partnership agreements. You may realize that an idea has tremendous potential, but currently demands more resources than expected. Or perhaps financial support is available, but it comes with responsibilities that require greater commitment than you originally anticipated. At the same time, Mercury in Virgo in your first house forms a supportive sextile to Mars. A conversation with a colleague, project partner, or someone within your professional network helps you find practical solutions much faster. This is an excellent time to discuss strategy, assign responsibilities, prepare for a launch, and agree on concrete next steps. September 6th to 9th, Venus continues moving through Libra and your second house. Money, income, pricing, purchases, and personal resources become your primary focus. A new source of income may appear. You could renegotiate your compensation or decide to invest in something that improves both your quality of life and your professional skills. On September 8th, Venus forms a trine to the North Node in Aquarius in your 6th house and a sextile to the South Node in Leo in your 12th house. A financial decision may directly improve your work routine or daily lifestyle. A new collaboration could reduce unnecessary workload. Additional income may allow you to improve your schedule, or better working conditions may finally make it possible to leave behind a project that has long stopped being productive. On September 9th, Venus forms a sextile to Black Moon Lilith in Sagittarius in your 4th house. This day may connect financial matters with home and family. Expenses involving your home, renovations, family needs, or decisions that improve your sense of security and comfort may become especially important. September 10th, Venus enters Scorpio in your 3rd house. After several weeks focused primarily on finances, your attention gradually shifts toward communication, negotiations, education, paperwork, travel, and new connections. You may become interested in taking a course, publishing your work, collaborating on a project, or exploring an idea that requires more communication and exchange of information. A meaningful connection may also develop through your work, your studies, or your local community. Remember that Venus is already moving through its retrograde shadow, so many agreements and conversations beginning in September will continue evolving throughout the fall. On the same day, Venus opposes Chiron in Taurus in your 9th house. A conversation, educational opportunity, or travel experience may challenge your confidence in your own knowledge. You may recognize areas where you've underestimated your expertise, or conversely, where your ambitions have moved ahead of your actual preparation. Also on September 10th, Mercury enters Libra in your 2nd house. This begins a highly active period for discussions about money, pricing, budgeting, compensation, and working conditions. It's an excellent time to negotiate fees, organize financial paperwork, compare options, and make practical financial decisions. That same day, Uranus stations retrograde in Gemini in your 10th house. Career developments now require adjustment. Questions involving a new position, a career change, your public image, professional direction, or relationships with leadership may return for another review. Not everything that changed over the summer has fully settled into its final form. September 11, New Moon in Virgo in your 1st house. The new moon opens an entirely new personal cycle. This is a wonderful time to refresh your lifestyle, focus on yourself, launch a new project, or finally make a decision you've been postponing. September becomes the month when you begin acting with greater independence and rely less on other people's expectations. White Moon Selena is also traveling through Virgo in your 1st house, making quiet confidence, competence, integrity, and steady progress your greatest strengths. The more authentic and grounded you are now, the more naturally opportunities begin to align with you. September 12, Mercury in Libra and your 2nd house forms a trine to Pluto in Aquarius in your 6th house, while simultaneously opposing Neptune in Aries in your 8th house. A financial matter may require deeper analysis. Mercury's trine to Pluto helps you identify which parts of your work truly generate income and where greater efficiency can significantly improve your financial results. This is an excellent day for negotiating compensation, discussing working conditions, restructuring responsibilities, or refining the financial model behind a business or project. However, Mercury's opposition to Neptune advises caution regarding shared finances, loans, investments, or promised financial support. If you're dealing with investments, reimbursements, loans, insurance, or financial agreements, verify every figure carefully and avoid relying on promises that haven't yet been confirmed. September 14. Mercury in your 2nd house forms a trine to retrograde Uranus in your 10th house. An unexpected career development could improve your financial situation. A new assignment, job opportunity, career path, or business model may allow you to earn income from talents that previously weren't being fully appreciated. If you're self-employed, this is an excellent time to update your pricing, improve your professional positioning, adopt new technology, or explore more effective marketing strategies. Also on September 14, Black Moon Lilith enters Capricorn and your 5th house. Over the coming months, it's important not to tie your self-worth exclusively to romance, the success of a creative project, or validation from children or loved ones. Your value has to come from something deeper than external recognition. September 15. Venus in Scorpio and your 3rd house forms a square to retrograde Pluto in Aquarius in your 6th house. This becomes one of the month's most important aspects for work, communication, and professional agreements. A conversation with a coworker, client, or someone in your immediate environment may expose hidden tension within your work system. You may discover that the real issue isn't another person at all, but an overloaded schedule, unclear expectations, poorly defined responsibilities, or simply trying to manage too many things at once. Professionally, you may need to rethink collaboration, workflow, or how you interact with clients. Personally, this aspect can intensify jealousy, misunderstandings, attempts to control information, or taking someone's words more personally than intended. Be careful not to create conclusions from what hasn't actually been said. Because Venus is already traveling through its retrograde shadow, many conversations and agreements from mid-September will return for another review later this fall. Even now, however, it becomes increasingly obvious which relationships and working systems require greater honesty and transparency. September 18. Chiron returns to Aries and your 8th house, once again bringing attention to shared finances, obligations, trust, vulnerability, and dependence on other people's resources. A situation first introduced during the spring or summer may return for another chapter. This could involve loans, debt, shared expenses, financial assistance, or determining your level of responsibility within a partnership or joint project. In relationships, the conversation is no longer only about emotional closeness. It's also about whether you can comfortably discuss money, responsibilities, mutual support, and shared commitments. At the same time, Mercury in Libra opposes retrograde Saturn in your 8th house. Financial matters now require complete clarity. A serious discussion regarding salary, budgeting, loans, debt repayment, business agreements, or shared finances may take place. You may encounter limitations that require reducing expenses or realistically assessing how much financial responsibility you're truly willing to carry. The relationship between the 2nd and 8th houses asks you to rebalance your own resources with those you share with others. If you've relied too heavily on someone else's support, now is the time to strengthen your own financial foundation. If you've been carrying most of the responsibility yourself, it's time to reconsider how those obligations are divided. September 22nd. Mercury in Libra and your 2nd house forms a sextile to Jupiter in Leo in your 12th house. After the more serious financial conversations of mid-month, an opportunity that previously remained hidden may suddenly become visible. This could be an additional source of income, a confidential offer, a reimbursement, financial assistance, or a project that's still developing behind the scenes. This is an excellent time for financial planning and discussing the monetary side of future projects. Jupiter in the 12th house can also bring rewards from work you've already completed, even if the results are only becoming visible now. September 23rd. The Sun enters Libra and your 2nd house. After several weeks of strong emphasis on your personal development, attention naturally shifts toward practical results. Income, expenses, possessions, financial security, and the value of your work now move into the spotlight. If the first half of September was about deciding what you truly want for yourself, the second half asks the next logical question. How will you support that vision? You may renegotiate your rates, discuss a raise, develop an additional income stream, or simply build healthier financial habits. The personal transformation that began around the new moon may now require practical investments in education, your business, your appearance, or professional tools that support your long-term goals. September 24th, White Moon Selena moves from Virgo into Libra and your 2nd house. After highlighting your personal identity and self-definition, Selena now shifts her supportive influence toward resources and financial stability. Over the coming months, your greatest financial opportunities are likely to come through competence, consistency, professionalism, and your ability to negotiate fair compensation, not through trying to preserve an outdated income source at any cost. September 26. Full moon in Aries in your 8th house. The full moon brings important financial stories involving shared resources, loans, investments, insurance, taxes, debt, settlements, or a partner's finances to a turning point. A repayment period may come to an end. A decision from a bank, insurance company, or financial institution may finally arrive. A family budget may be reorganized, or you may face a significant financial decision, whether to take on a new obligation, pay one off, invest money, or walk away from an arrangement that creates too much dependence. Because this full moon activates the 2nd 8th house axis, your personal income and shared resources must now be viewed together. An increase in your earnings may allow you to become less financially dependent on someone else. Or, on the other hand, expanding your own business or professional goals may make it wise to seek outside funding or additional resources. But this lunation isn't only about money. The 8th house also governs trust, emotional vulnerability, and the willingness to truly share your life with another person. Within relationships, you may gain greater clarity about whether you're ready to combine resources, accept support, share responsibilities, and build a future based on genuine mutual commitment. At nearly the same time, the Sun in your 2nd house forms an opposition to Neptune in your 8th house, while also making a trine to Pluto in Aquarius in your 6th house. The opposition to Neptune calls for extra caution with financial agreements. Unexpected expenses may appear within a shared budget. Loan terms, investments, contracts, or financial arrangements may prove more complicated than they first appeared. Don't build your financial strategy around promises that haven't yet become concrete. Fortunately, the Sun's trine to Pluto offers a practical solution through your 6th house of work. Changes in your daily workflow, greater efficiency, new professional skills, or a better organization of your responsibilities can directly increase your income. By the end of September, you'll clearly see the connection between how you organize your daily work, how much it earns, and how dependent or independent you truly are financially. September 27 to 28. Before changing signs, Mars in the final degrees of Cancer in your 11th house forms a square to Chiron and Aries in your 8th house. A team project, long-term goal, or collaboration with friends may bring financial questions to the surface. Perhaps a project now requires additional investment. Maybe team members have different ideas about how expenses should be divided. Or it's finally time to clarify exactly who is responsible for what. Avoid investing money simply to maintain your place within a group or preserve a relationship. Make sure you understand both the realistic potential of the project and your actual level of responsibility. On September 28th, Mars enters Leo and your 12th house. The pace of the month begins to shift. After weeks of collaboration, networking, and active involvement with professional communities, more of your work now moves behind the scenes. You may begin preparing a new project, conducting research, or working on something that simply isn't ready to be revealed yet. At the same time, you'll likely feel the need to finish unfinished business from the previous months. Mars now joins Jupiter in Leo, making this a surprisingly active period for behind-the-scenes preparation. The key is not trying to finish everything old while simultaneously launching multiple new directions. The 12th house asks you to create space before the next chapter begins. That same day, the Sun in your 2nd house forms a trine to retrograde Uranus in your 10th house. A professional change may unexpectedly create a new financial opportunity. A job offer, a different work structure, a new income stream, or the ability to monetize something that previously seemed experimental may suddenly appear. If your career has felt uncertain during recent months, late September begins to reveal the practical value behind those changes. September 29th, Mercury in Libra and your 2nd house forms a trine to the North Node in Aquarius in your 6th house, while simultaneously opposing Chiron in Aries in your 8th house. An important financial conversation may lead directly to a significant professional decision. You may negotiate salary, discuss pricing, review a contract, or consider the financial terms of a new project. The trine to the North Node shows that income growth is closely connected to improving your professional systems. A new skill, a different work structure, greater automation, or a more efficient organization of your responsibilities can gradually strengthen your financial position. However, the opposition to Chiron once again highlights the sensitive issue of shared resources. Don't accept uncomfortable financial terms simply because you're afraid of losing support, a client, or an opportunity. September 30th, Mercury enters Scorpio and your 3rd house. Joining Venus, Mercury now amplifies communication, negotiations, learning, writing, documents, short-distance travel, publishing, and information exchange. An educational opportunity may begin. A meaningful agreement may be signed. A valuable new connection or collaborative offer may appear. For Virgos working with writing, teaching, consulting, media, communications, or building an audience, the final days of September can bring a noticeable increase in conversations, meetings, and professional opportunities. Remember that Venus is already traveling through its retrograde shadow and will station retrograde in Scorpio on October 3rd. That means agreements, new contacts, educational plans, technology purchases, travel arrangements, or communication-related projects initiated now may continue evolving throughout October and November. September introduces the first version of the story. The final outcome will likely take shape later this fall. Virgo, September marks the transition from personal renewal to a much more practical question. What resources will support the next chapter of your life? The new moon opens a brand new personal cycle, allowing you to redefine your priorities and move forward with greater confidence. The full moon helps clarify which financial commitments, support systems, and shared agreements truly fit the person you're becoming, and which ones no longer do. Uranus continues reshaping your professional direction. Pluto keeps transforming your daily work and long-term productivity. By the end of September, these changes become increasingly connected to your income and financial independence. Your financial results this month depend largely on how effectively you're willing to organize your professional life and make practical improvements. At the same time, Mars entering your 12th house begins a quieter period of preparation. Not every plan needs immediate action. Some of your most important developments are still taking shape behind the scenes and will become visible later. By the end of September, you'll have much greater clarity about what you truly want for yourself, how many resources that future requires, and which commitments are truly worth carrying into your next chapter. Happy birthday once again to all September Virgos. Wishing you a beautiful, empowering, and inspiring September. Thank you so much for being here. If this forecast resonated with you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next forecast.